Hello, I'm Alan. I'm the SEO specialist, the SEO guru. And many people ask me, why do you call yourself the SEO guru? Where do you get that from? And I got to tell you the story of that because it's really important and it's something that you can use for your business or for your brand or whatever it is. And that's a really important concept in marketing, brand. When I was starting out in SEO, and it was actually back in the old days of SEO when, I started in 1997, 1997, 1998, that kind of time period. And I, I would say, hey, I do marketing. And people would be like, what is that? Online marketing, what is that? They didn't understand it. It didn't make any sense. Nowadays, people understand what SEO is, fortunately. It makes it a lot easier to do my business. But back then, they didn't really understand. They didn't understand, and it took me a while to kind of, explain to people, hey, I'm going to promote your business on the internet. And they were like, what's the internet? Back then, it was really new. People didn't understand it. And it was something that I had to kind of build that, as the internet built, I built my business. And I was, got better at my messaging to really move along with the technology. And I saw how the technology changed. And I would do a lot of public speaking about it. I would teach people about how to market their websites and all that kind of stuff. So after a while, I started teaching at universities. I was teaching all over the place about SEO while actually doing it on a day-to-day basis for hundreds of clients. So it was something where I was like, hey, I really want to take this business to the next level. At the time, this is back in 2008. After working in the industry for over 10 years, I was like, I'm doing this and I'm still going through this thing where I have to go into the meeting to meet this new client and explain what it is that I do. And I had to go through all that whole, spiel that you always have to do. It's like, oh, I have this many years of experience, and it's like, and I've done this thing, and and they say, oh, do you have references, and do you have it's like it was always that kind of tedium to the whole experience, and I didn't like it. I really hated it, to tell you the truth. That I felt like I had to justify myself every time, and that is part of the nature of doing any business. You always have to justify yourself. But it can be, that process of justifying yourself can be much easier if you have branding. And what I mean by that is if I try to sell you fizzy sugar water, you're probably not going to be too interested in it because it sounds horrible. Fizzy, sugary water? You got to sell me something a bit better than that. But if I say, hey, here's a bottle of Coke, nice fresh from the fridge, you'd be like, oh, Coke, I could drink a glass of Coke right now. So the thing is, branding, that name recognition, the brand really does make people, not question the credentials of the fizzy sugar water that you're trying to give them. Okay? So with me, I decided, hey, I'm going to brand myself as the SEO guru. And I basically defined myself as being that. And I, instead of having to go into a meeting and say, well, who are you? And, what's different from you than any other million of the other SEOs that we could deal with? I'd say I'm the SEO guru. And you can look me up. I'm #1 in the world for SEO guru. And they'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. And that kind of branding really made it easy for me to get past all the gatekeepers and all the people that would say, oh, show us your resume, show us your work portfolio, show us all the stuff that you did. So I came up with a brand. And so the thing is, coming up with a brand is not as difficult as it might sound. I didn't just pick this brand out of thin air. I actually did a little bit of research, the typical research that you do with SEO. What keywords kind of have something that sounds legit and also something that I could rank for, because I have to control the term. If I didn't rank for it, there's no purpose in targeting that word. I had to have something that I could brand and make my own. So that was key. And once I had all that and I kind of figured out, SEO guru sounds kind of cool. It's a little bit, it sounds like somebody that knows something. It sounds knowledgeable. I thought it was a good word. I did a little bit of research in terms of how many searches it got per month. It was like the keyword gets about 2,000 searches per month. The marketing for it wasn't really that difficult. The targeting of the keyword wasn't that challenging. I was used to marketing things like real estate or all these other much more competitive keywords. So SEO Guru seemed like kind of a low-hanging fruit keyword that I could target, get my site ranked for, and then use that as a way to brand myself. And I would also do things to kind of reinforce the brand, not just with new clients, but with existing clients. So I would do the following, where I would sign all my emails, Alan Pollitt, SEO Guru. And I would use that on my cards everywhere. I would just constantly use that term. So after a while, not only was I associating the term with myself, but other people were associating it with me as well. So much so that even Google, when you would search SEO Guru, my picture would come up and my profile. So even Google would make that association, because what was happening was, not only whenever I did a speaking event, I would post my bio, and I'd post my bio as Alan Pollitt, that's who I am, the SEO Guru. And I would constantly have that with everything that I did was always reinforcing that brand. And that's the importance of branding, that you have to pick a brand that you can control and one that you can constantly leverage and put out there so that people start associating those words with you. And that's the key. That's really the key that allowed me to get the rankings that I wanted, but also get the brand recognition that I wanted, so that when I went into a meeting with somebody that I didn't know, they would actually say, oh, it's Alan, the SEO Guru. That made it much easier. There was that foot in the door element. So this is something that you can do with a business, any business. And, it's something that's really, really important. So branding, back to the fizzy water thing. If you say, fizzy water with sugar, with sugary fizzy water, that doesn't sound very interesting. Coke sounds interesting because it's an established brand, right? Well, at the end of the day, what distinguishes all the different fizzy waters is the brands that have been built around them. And if you're selling whatever it is, what you have to do is establish brands around whatever it is to distinguish yourself from everyone else. And companies are used to doing this. This is something that every company comes up with. They name their products, they brand them, they build up the marketing around those words. But it's something that you can do on any level. So if you're a carpenter, well, don't be a carpenter, because there's lots of carpenters. You create a brand around your business. I'm the carpenter guru. If you want to rip off my thing, be something where it's a little bit unique to yourself, and that you can first of all get it ranked on Google. So when people search for that brand keyword, that you come up first. And it's something that is rememberable. It can't be some weird word that just people are not going to be able to pronounce or say or whatever. You got to make something that's rememberable and incorporates what it is that they want to remember when they think of that word. So you got to, the reason I said my name is Alan Pollitt, the SEO Guru, is SEO is what I sell, which is search engine optimization. Guru sounds like I'm wise. That's my extra element that kind of defines my skill in that field. And by doing that, where people can say, oh, Alan, the SEO guru, the SEO guru is speaking, what it does is it allows people to quickly understand what I do, because they know people have a rough understanding of SEO, and they now associate that skill set with me. And you can do that for any product or service or whatever it is that you're trying to do. But and that's a very basic thing that you should do if you're starting your marketing, starting your business, is have that brand idea in mind. What is it? What phrase can you say that will define you, make you stand out from all your competition, but at the same time won't confuse people? Because if you come up with and you say I'm Coke, or something that's like a new word, like it's really hard to get that where it's understood. Unless you have lots of money to throw at it and you can really brand it, it's really hard to do that. It's much easier if you can, as I said, use something where it's leveraging what it is that you do, so they already understand most of the branding the branded phrase that you're creating, and then you add on to it something that makes it unique to you. And that's really the way to establish a great brand for a small business, mid-sized business. And as you build those brands up, you can go further with it and really get into sort of saying, okay, I'm Coke now. I'm some new word that people will associate with your brand. And that's really the trick, that you get up to that level. But start small. Be the carpenter guru, be the plumbing guru, be the whatever word you want to use, but be that first, and then build up to that bigger brand. And that's the key. And when you use, as I said, when you use that brand, make sure that it's in everything that you do. So when I did public speaking, I would not call myself Alan Pollitt, which is my name. I'd call myself Alan Pollitt, SEO Guru. My name and title. Also, even with my LinkedIn profile, with everything that I do, my full name, I guess it would be Alan Pollitt, the SEO Guru. And that's what you have to do. You have to, if you're going to make it a brand, it has to almost be like a brand, like a typical brand where something is like branded onto you, like it's part of you, and you got to make it, and you got to embrace that part. And that's really key. A lot of the time people come up with these crazy brands that, as I said, that aren't really memorable, and they don't embrace it enough, they don't stick to it enough to really see it through, where people will say, okay, yes, I know who you are. You are this brand. And that's key to making it successful. So I hope this explanation of how to create a brand has really helped you and help you come up with some ideas for building your own brand. And I'd love to hear those ideas. Please put them in the comments below. And thanks for listening. Bye for now.